Hey, this is Charlie with 4BZ Truth, and I'm just checking back with you guys, and I had an important topic on my mind and wanted to kind of vent about it and talk about it with everybody and get some feedback. And, if you notice the title of the video, it's talking about the vortex of monetization and trying to become noticed on YouTube. I actually decided to kind of venture down that road recently. I've had my channel for about 3 years, but I haven't really been full-fledged making videos since about a year ago, plus or minus. And I feel like I'm gaining some popularity. I have 70 subscribers, and I have a video that's coming up on 3,000 views on the topic of consciousness and the mind actually being controlled by a transcendent consciousness and near-death experiences. Now, I'm extremely interested in those types of topics. I get into all the conspiratorial, like turning every stone, going down every rabbit hole type topic, all the fringe stuff. It is my passion to try to expose lies and pursue the quote-unquote truths. And I just thought that, you know, in the process of trying to investigate and do all this research, it takes time, and, you know, to develop a legit video or something that seems catchy and hooky and things like that. Anything that is going to draw attention is going to require extra time, and somebody like me who has a full-time job, it makes it difficult. But yet I continue to have my passion, and I am driven to want to continue to create this content. Now, I have a brand new son who's 3 weeks old, and my wife is kind of struggling with a lot more responsibilities of taking care of him. So, of course, I have to step up and you know, help her out in that. And but how am I going to keep up with my YouTube videos if I'm tied up with all this other stuff? And I can't help but want to, you know, start monetizing my stuff so I can have a little bit of sustainability. And in my passion of trying to get deeper into the thought process of all the content that I'm talking about, you know, if I have a passion for something and I start getting hung up on the financial side of things, I'm realizing it's a freaking vortex of trying to get things set up to where all you can think about is how I'm going to draw attention to my videos. How is it going to be popular? How is it going to be accepted by people? How does it seem more clicky so that people will accept it better? And you know, I started realizing that it kind of compromises on the quality of what it is, the video. And you know, I went through and I started researching a lot of the content creators that are quote-unquote successful, like all those guys that are really successful are really trying to appeal to the common, you know, mainstream and the clicky type of behaviors out there. And so kind of going back to the thing that kind of motivated me in this direction, I was kind of researching, trying to figure out you know, or I was just learning and watching my own videos, trying to expand on my knowledge, and I came across this this guy that was saying, this is where we were at when we were trying to establish our YouTube channel for the first time. This is where we were at when we decided we were going to break away from college, or, you know, I dropped out of college, and this is where I was at, and this is where I was at when I hit my first 1 million subscribers. And I started realizing that that is something that seems pretty interesting to me, because I like marketing and sales and trying to, find the angles to, you know, gain being noticed. I'm not saying popularity. Business, you have to be noticed in order to make money. So in the entrepreneur spirit that I have, I want to find a way to get noticed so that I can start making some money. But at the same time, I don't want to compromise the content and compromise on what I'm actually trying to do with the content, because I feel like a lot of the stuff that I get into, it has very important implications, and we're supposed to have some sort of direction in this life, in this reality, and I don't want the whole money thing to take me over. And I'm telling you though, this is my confession. I'm gonna freaking get back on the rails here. I don't want to get derailed anymore with what I'm trying to accomplish, because everything that I've actually been doing up to this point has gotten me to where I'm at now. And if I start, trying to venture down these areas of trying to be popular and things like that, it can actually compromise the content. Now, again, I get into things that many people just don't care about. I'm not one who's like a hive mind. I mean, in some ways, I've kind of broken away from the mainstream in my thinking, and it's kind of more so gotten me in trouble, because it doesn't really attract or draw people in, unless it's the similar type of mind thinkers that are out there that are a lot like me. But those are the minority. They're few and far between. So if I'm trying to hook people in with this content, it's going to be more difficult. But I've come to the realization that I don't want to compromise this content. So there's a lot of people talking about just the craziest stuff, and there's some content creators out there that are actually doing good, that are 2, 3, 400,000 subscribers, but what it comes down to is, I don't think that it's worth compromising so that you can make money. So says the guy that only has 70 subscribers. But at the same time, if you are a content creator and you are trying to expose lies and trying to understand the truth of this reality, whether it be something fringe like the flat Earth, or something fringe like government conspiracy, if you like to talk about spirituality and God, and trying to understand the secret hidden meanings of what the Bible's saying. Honestly, I think that people should support by subscribing to those types of people, because if they're going to keep doing what they do, sometimes it's hard to be able to break away from things unless they have a little bit of financial stability. Now, for me, I'm not asking for anyone's money, because honestly, I haven't even set up a Patreon or anything like that. So, I mean, I did, but it was one of those things where I was just kind of seeing how it worked, and I was looking into that for a podcast guy that I know, and he was struggling financially. So I figured, what if I figured that out and help him get set up in Patreon? But anybody that's in quote unquote ministry, like pastors or whatever, they're going to have support from the congregation, financial support, monetary support, and or if you're a business owner, if you're selling a product, I mean, you're going to provide information. The most popular thing out there nowadays is content. And people are searching for how to gain more knowledge. Whether that's knowledge in things that are relevant or not. that seems to be what is the highest demand. So I guess technology is up there too, but you know, when it comes to people gaining knowledge, I think that that's probably always been the most popular information out there. So anyways, I should wrap this up, but I feel like the bottom line is, if you're trying to grow your channel, if you're a YouTube content creator, or you're just interested in supporting people out there that are trying to, you know, make a difference in the world, I feel like to defend the First Amendment, we should support each other. And you know, I want you guys to subscribe to my channel, not necessarily so that you can see every video that comes along per se, but anybody that is, you know, has a large following, it becomes more relevant. And you know, I've kind of gathered that anybody that subscribes to a channel and then clicks that bell icon, that's where you're going to get the notifications. But if you subscribe to somebody and don't click the bell icon, you're not going to get the notifications. You're just going to get random suggestions on videos to watch. Now, generally speaking, I'm sure most of the people that are listening to this will watch a video here and there that they just don't give a freaking crap about, and they just move right along and move to the next video. But you know, there's other people out there that legit want to freaking make a difference in the world, and they're going to create content that a lot of people don't care about, but at the same time they're speaking the truth, and the message needs to be heard. And I'm hoping I'm one of those guys that, you know, people consider, you know, a truth seeker, and at the very least you could support me by subscribing. I don't necessarily want to monetize my channel, but if I can get the word out further and become more relevant, you know, like and subscribe. That's what I'm hoping for. Now, as far as the monetization is concerned, I feel like it's important to be able to sustain yourself if you're doing anything. You know, if you're in business, you're going to freaking charge people to do a service, or if you're selling a product or whatever, you're going to charge for it. I think that people are delusional to think that financially, you know, it's not necessary to get money in order to survive in this community or this civilization, because they've built a system that we must live by, and that is, you know, make money to survive. And it's kind of like a form of slavery, but at the same time, you know, everybody has to live by it. So anyways, that was my rant about monetization and being noticed on YouTube. So if you guys can appreciate where I'm coming from, like and subscribe. And if you don't give a crap, you know, you don't have to subscribe. I mean, I just want, you know, this open door that I feel like I've been walking through, as far as making a difference. I feel like I want to keep making a difference for people. That's my ultimate drive. And if you guys want to make a difference, you make your own freaking videos. I think it's important that you know, people keep sharing the things that are important to them. And truth is truth, though. I mean, people will say there's no absolute truth, but it's all subjective. Well, I tend to believe that there is a paradigm of truth that you must filter everything through, and there is a true bias, and you must you know, figure out what that is. And if you ask me, I think it's through Jesus, and he lived a life of that was an example that we must follow and carry our cross daily, or whatever. So you know, whether you believe that or not, I think that you need to seek. I think everybody should seek. I think that we only have a small opportunity in this life to figure out what we're doing here. So I think that love is important, and we need to take care of everybody. I think the hive mind is important. I got to say this scenario real quick. This is actually going to kind of be icing on the cake. If you actually look at like a beehive, you have like thousands of bees that are supporting each other, or an ant colony. They're all kind of working together for one cause, or the hive mind. Now, in some ways, that could seem like socialism or communism, everybody working together so that you could lift up the elite. But actually, I would say that that's the corrupted view of what our purpose or the intended purpose was in the beginning. I think people in general should have always been kind of a hive mind, and I think that in a lot of ways they are, because if you actually look at a political map when they're doing a vote or whatever, you oftentimes see the blue and the red. Now, if you ever notice, the blue is always lit up more in the cities, and the red's more lit up in the country or the farm areas. Well, I don't think it's a coincidence when you find people that are more conservative thinking that are outside of the cities, because normally, and again, this might be speaking a little more toward who I am, but a conservative mindset is that nobody wants to be controlled by a government that is oppressing them. I think that a lot of the people who are considered Republican or conservative believe that we were given some sort of inalienable rights, like the Constitution talks about, and that is actually straight from God. Now, the government doesn't give us freedom. We have freedom, and then the government manages it. They're supposed to be stewards. Now, the whole point of what I'm trying to make here is that when you start looking at this, kind of liken it to the systems of the body. Each body part or system has its own function. But if society, like city governments, town governments, state governments, federal government, the federal government kind of oversees everything, but I kind of liken that to the brain and or the nervous system, and then or the blood. But if you actually look at cancer and how that functions, cancer actually clusters and it grows cellular malignant clusters in the body and creates tumors. And as soon as it becomes dysfunctional, it no longer wants to function according to its purpose. And when you look at cities, you start noticing people are more self-centered, and they're more introverted, and they don't want to function in society as much. And honestly, when I start seeing clusters of people, I start thinking, gosh, that reminds me of cancer a little bit, because usually when you're in a hive mind, you're out there finding ways to serve your community the way that God intended. So anyways, I am pretty much done ranting, so I think that's a nice note to end on, and I appreciate everybody listening. If you have any feedback, put it in the comment section, and do like and subscribe. I try to go out of my way to subscribe to people that seem like they're trying to build up their channels. Subscribing doesn't hurt anybody, as far as you may get some notifications on occasion from these subscriptions that you have, but overall it doesn't hurt anybody to subscribe, but it only helps those who are trying to promote truth, or even if it's a lie. You don't have to subscribe to everybody, but I think you should subscribe to everybody that's trying to promote truth. So anyways, that's where I'm at, and like and subscribe. I appreciate it, everybody. I love you, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful rest of your day, week, and month. and year, and we're getting on close to the end of the year. So, all right, peace out.